Hello and welcome to A Friend Like Me podcast. I am your host, Shariel, and I started this podcast because everybody needs a friend like me. Today's main topic is, when can somebody spin the block? But before we get into the main topic, since I have a guest with me, Zanaya is back.
I'm back. What's up, y'all? It's nice to see you.
Yeah, so when I have a guest, I have a random question instead of doing what I've noticed. And my random question is, would you rather have your dream house or your dream career?
Ooh. Okay, that's actually pretty easy. I feel like I'd have my dream career because I, for one, have definitely struggled in careers growing up, trying to figure out what it is that I really want to do. But I feel like the biggest goal is to make sure that you're doing something that you love. And I feel like with that, I'll be able to get my own house too. So it's a two-in-one package.
Yeah, for me, I'd rather have a dream career too because it's more fulfilling than hating what you do and then going to a house that you love. Because you're not happy, you're sleeping in bed thinking about, I have to get up to this place I hate.
Exactly.
So today's main topic is, when can somebody spin the block? And this really goes for women because men are the ones that try to spin the block most of the time. And when you talk about rules and regulations, what are the odds for you personally that somebody can spin the block on you?
What are the odds? That's actually a pretty hard question because I feel like I hold myself to a very high standard, like we were discussing earlier. You always want to portray yourself as someone that's one of one. You're not like everybody else. And if that's the case, I should be holding the same standards to these men. If you're not going to be one of one, you want to treat me like I'm some regular, then I just feel like it's not giving. I want to spin the block.
The chances are slim then.
Very slim to none.
For me, you being able to spin the block on me, and if you don't know what spin the block means, it just means somebody you've dated or talked to and having them trying to come back around after it didn't work out. So for me, it's like
I was feeling you.
Yeah, like for me, it's like hitting the lottery, spinning the block on me, and that's not even being cocky. It's just like the chances are slim because most of the time the person doesn't change, and that's the problem.
There was a reason why it didn't work in the first place.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of women, we let men spin the block because we're comfortable with them. We're like, oh, we have history. Girls love that.
And the thing is, men don't really be working on character development, I feel like. It's more so, I feel like I'm the SHIT, so I'm going to portray myself as such, and I'm going to make sure that this girl knows it, so I'm going to get her back. And
no,
I'm here to shoot down your confidence.
But honestly, women do let men spin the block all the time, though.
They do.
And that's why men do have that ego.
I feel like it's comfortability, though. When a female feels comfortable being with someone, and especially because they're spinning the block, they were already with them.
That's what I'm saying. The history,
so
we allow them to do that.
I don't know, though. History should never be the deciding factor of whether or not I should give you another chance if you did me dirty.
But history, like you said, it brings comfort.
True.
Women like to be comfortable. Women will be in a relationship they're not even really happy in because they're comfortable in it.
That's a fact.
And they'll stay in that.
I feel like it's also, with women, when we fall in love, there's also attraction that comes with it. And with that attraction and that being in love, you just become so blindsided by your happiness, your peace, your emotion, all of it. So you just become this bland individual that's kind of just putting up with stuff because you feel like that's what you need to do in order for you to be happy. But it's
not even just to be in a relationship.
That too.
Women are desperate to be with somebody. Let's keep it a bean.
That's true.
You don't let somebody spin the block if you don't want them.
Exactly.
A lot of times we're like, oh, I'm lonely, or I need somebody, it's cuffing season, and you let them come back. No.
Yeah.
Be alone.
That's a fact.
Be alone.
A lot of people don't know how to be alone. I, for one, I feel like I struggled with it growing up just because I was an only child. I was perfect being alone. Whereas when you get that comfort from somebody and you experience it, you really don't want to go back to feeling that aloneness. But as a woman, an independent Black woman at that, and just a woman just in general, I feel like you need to be able to be comfortable being alone.
Being by yourself,
Being by yourself, being self-aware of your emotions, what you're feeling.
What you deserve.
You deserve.
Who you are. Because a lot of times we get in relationships and we get lost in the person we're dating, and we're literally just molding ourselves to make them comfortable, make their lives easier. We get lost in their activities. But who are you and what do you like now? You're just so-and-so's girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then y'all break up because he did something, or it just is not supposed to work out because you've been forcing it for however many months. Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't find anybody soon enough, or he just wants to get back to you because he remembers all the stuff you did for him. Exactly. And he doesn't have to put up with these girls in the streets. He's like, if I go back to blase, she's going to treat me right, even if I don't treat her right.
It's also down to the things where they know they were wrong. These men know what they do.
Yeah,
they
do.
know what they're doing.
That's so true.
And it's more so, you know what? It's okay. She accepted me for that.
She loves me, so she should take me back.
Exactly.
Because they know you love them or you like them a lot, but it's like love is not enough.
It's always but babe, I was going through stuff. Yeah. I didn't know how to tell you. That's just giving y'all are not equally yoked in that relationship. Yeah. If I feel comfortable enough to explain to you what it is that I'm going through with my life, and we've established that I'm here for you, you're here for me, there should be some type of equality between you expressing your feelings. And I get it. Society's portrayed men to subside their feelings and put on this brave face. But at the same time, how do you expect to do that and not women, self-sabotage yourself?
We get the short end of the stick when men don't share with us. So this is like, we're breaking down why something may have not worked out. Mm-hmm. It's usually, it's not going to work between you two, or it wasn't the right time. But a lot of times we make that as an excuse, though. Sometimes it's not the right person. We just have to be real.
I feel like it's one of those phrases, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Let them spin?
Yeah, it's really more so you don't know what you're getting yourself into the second time around. Even you putting your faith into it and agreeing that, okay, maybe this time around could be different. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't end out like that. So it's really one of those things where you have to go at it with everything that you've got, and sometimes you either get that decision or that outcome that you want, and other times you don't.
I think a lot of times we're forgetful. We love to forget the things that aggravated us on both sides, for men too.
Girl,
we forget the things we forget the things that were a disconnect, which could have been how we communicate with each other, what we really share. Are we truly vulnerable? We forget the bad things in the relationship, and we just think about, oh well, they were sweet. Yep. Oh, well, they made one mistake. They cheated on me once. And then he told me because he was guilty. Yeah, because he was in your face, and he knew somebody was going to tell you eventually. So that's why he told you.
Exactly.
It's not because he's a good person. And I feel like you should not let somebody spin the block unless they've made a complete 180 change.
For sure.
And a lot of people say 360, they get it mixed up. 360 is going full circle to who you used to be. 180 is doing a turnaround. So unless they do a 180, and I'm talking about if they have to go to therapy, if they need to self-assess. A lot of men serial date are always dealing with women, so they never have to change. They're just like, this girl didn't want to put up with this, I'll go to the next one. No, sir, you need to do the work. You need to figure out, why are you this way? Why are you not vulnerable? Why are you not achieving your goals? Why do you self-sabotage? And why can't you accept a good woman that does love you and treat her right the first time?
Literally. It's so simple. It's so easy. And I get it. We're young. We're at this age between our 20s where this is our moment to date. This is our moment to have fun, experiment, or whatever society likes to put on our backs. And I just feel like if you're not ultimately ready to genuinely take care of someone and put that person first in everything that you're doing, there's just no reason for you to be in a relationship in the first place. Yeah, there's no
point. I love that, because why don't we do the work on ourselves, especially us ladies? Because honestly, men only have to do what you make them do. Not make them do, but like what standards you have, right? And a lot of times as women, we don't really have standards. And it's not always because low self-esteem. We just walk into things blindly and we're like,
very much so.
We go with the flow. No, a man needs standards to meet, because when a man meets your standards, you know he really wants you. And then when he's consistent, then you're like, okay, we can get in a relationship, because I also know his character. We have to take time before we make stuff official. Anybody can act right for 3 months. Anybody can act right for 6 months. You need to wait before you even date, so then you don't end up wasting your time dating somebody and then having them spin the block on you in the first place.
The friend stage is very important,
and it's
very
hard,
vital before you get into a relationship. And it is very hard, especially because we as women, we have that nurturing personal trait already embedded into us, whereas men are kind of I want to say, I don't want to categorize all men, but most men are raised on survival rather than love. And
Exactly.
that's something that a lot of people are not aware of.
No.
Being raised on survival is something where you're just, okay, this is what I have to do. This is the movement I need to make in order for this to happen. It's just giving
Yes.
very strategical, where when you're moving with love and you're raised with so much love around you, you know how to think about what you're doing prior and how that may affect the person, how
Yeah.
that's going to make the person feel, versus being survival, you don't care. You're just
Men, it takes a while to unlock that nurturing side of them, because
Yup.
honestly, most of the time men don't
It's like
trust
a
you.
my player on NBA 2K. They unlock those.
You gotta unlock it.
They unlock them quicker
The
than they unlock
shoes,
themselves.
the outfits, yeah, the braids, whatever, they switch them up. You have to, first of all, you need to take time to be friends, and it's hard, especially when somebody's attractive. You're like, man, forget that. Let's just work it out.
When they wait, when they put a little wet one on you, it's kind of like, you know what?
Oh,
Wait,
kiss?
I kind
Oh,
of
like what?
I
Yeah.
like you a little bit.
it is hard to be friends first, but it's like when you avoid the headache of the relationship part, because when you are in a relationship, it gets heavy and it gets
Yep.
heavy quick. Now you're accountable for more than one person. You have to account that person. And like we talked about, men are in survival mode, so they don't always consider us the way we consider them.
Yep.
And it's like we can get frustrated with each other. And I just want us to like really vet who we date before we get serious with them. It's okay to just back away.
For sure. To
and
give that
spinning
little
the block,
space.
Yeah, and spinning the block doesn't always mean, you guys dated. Because sometimes when you see red flags when you're talking, just leave then and there. Just leave then and there. And the thing is, women, we sometimes let them spin the block because we think, oh, this might be the only time he wants me still.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if he didn't grow up yet, if he hasn't grown as a man and the man that you need, let him rock. Let him stay
Exactly.
over there. If he wants you, he's gonna come back. He's gonna keep trying, because a
Yep.
man that wants something is a man that's persistent.
Exactly.
Men go after what they want. So if he's trying to spin the block on you over and over throughout the summer, throughout the winter, and it's almost been like a year or two, whatever, if he hasn't made the changes, don't do it. But if he has, then do it. But you have to have standards and tests to see if he changed.
For sure. Everyone deserves a second chance. I'm not one
Most
to...
of the time.
Most of the time. Most of the time.
Especially
right.
if you were young when you were dating.
For sure.
If they're young, 24, that's not, it's still very young. 23 is very young.
Yep.
25 is very young. If you dated even earlier than that, you definitely have to give people grace.
Absolutely. These are the ages where we're learning the most about not only ourselves, but our surroundings, the people that we're with, the people that
Yeah.
we're interacting with. Some people could be a lot more mature than others. And
Yes.
that definitely portrays into whether or not you want to give access to anyone that comes into your life.
Yeah.
You have to hold yourself like a temple,
They
realistically.
have to know exactly access denied or access granted.
Literally.
The man that tries to spin the block on you needs to now know that it's truly a privilege to be back in my life. We let people back in our lives too easy.
Too
and it's
easy.
because we're lonely or we're desperate or we're scared. Like, don't be afraid that no one's going to want you. That's not true. If you're your best version, somebody's going to come. It just
Listen,
might not be the time right now.
You may be blocking your blessings, baby.
Yeah, and you could be blocking your blessings by letting them spin the block on you, because that's not the person for you.
That too.
You keep letting them spin. Like, you missing out on your husband because you letting Dusty
Definitely.
spin on you because you're sad and lonely.
Absolutely.
Stop with that.
It's just, I feel like we as women need to step up and find that,
That's strength.
that strength to make sure that we are very loud and proud about who it is that we want to be in our lives to take care of us. Men are the people that are supposed to be protecting us, putting our arms, feeling safe. That is
Yes, our
ultimately
safety.
what we're supposed to be feeling. And if that's not the case, then there's no reason to be trying to force anything.
Exactly. That's the thing too. If you are reuniting with somebody, you guys are talking again, and it just doesn't feel like a fit, just let it go.
If the shoe fits, you wear it. If it don't, find
Let
another
it go.
pair.
Let it go. Let it go. And I just want us women to honestly, because I love us, I want us to do better. We take so many L's and we act like we don't.
Baby.
We take so many L's.
I know
Please.
for myself, I've taken some L's. And, You
We
know,
do it to ourselves.
We sure do. But it's one thing to self-reflect and actually understand why we took that L and how it is we're going to change that L and make it a
Yes.
W.
Yes.
Because, listen, all I want is wins, baby. That's
Yeah,
all
I want dubs.
All I want.
The L's were lessons, but now you need to learn from them and apply it. It's time for us to learn from our mistakes, from our past relationships, our past engagements, whatever we went through. Love ourselves, assess what we want out of ourselves and our partner that we want. And if that person that spins becomes that naturally without us giving direction, don't tell this man, oh, you need to work harder. You need to do that.
Exactly.
If he's not doing it automatically, you're going to be his life coach for the rest of the time you're together. Because you're going to be holding his hand, telling him what he needs to do. Nobody wants to do that.
You can't expect to change a man.
No, the man has to change for himself, and he might need to go through something traumatic or a big adjustment in his life to make that change for him. You need to let life take its course with him.
Yep.
So life can build him into that man that you deserve if it's meant for him to come back.
Exactly.
Literally.
So it's really just making sure that you are self-aware of your worth, your value.
Yes, that's first.
To make sure that you're ready to even allow someone back into your space.
Yeah.
Energy is real. Energy transfer is real. Soul transfer is real. Everything that comes together for a relationship to make it a relationship, all of that is genuinely real. And if you're not aware or self-aware of what it is that you're feeling when you're going through an argument or when you're going through a time where you need him and you feel like he's not really there,
pay attention
you
to that.
need to pay attention, because those are the things that need to have a little bit of self-development. And especially if I've mentioned it to you and I feel like you're not even doing anything to be there, that's a problem.
Yes.
And that is a problem that can end things. And I, for one, need to be very, very adamant about keeping that in my lifestyle as well. Not only just for the aspect of relationships, but literally jobs. Anything that you feel like you are settling in, stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's not going to make you happy.
Don't let it spin on you.
Exactly.
Whatever opportunity.
Whatever opportunity.
Don't let it spin if it's not right.
If it's not right, get out of there.
Yeah, don't let it come back in your life. Seriously. And that's what I want to talk about. This is really, no offense, kind of for the ladies today.
No offense at all.
I see it so much, like women are so quick to go back to a man that they know is not ready or he is not for you.
And y'all not low trying to hide it too.
Yeah, like
it's okay. I played that little game too.
Yeah, you're on your friend group. You trying to have that screen protector that doesn't show you notifications.
Yup.
Like, girl, you are not low.
You know?
Please stop. And even we just entertain them. Even if you're like, oh, I'm not taking him back, but you're still texting him. You're still answering his FaceTimes.
Yep. It's the
Dump
care,
him.
though. It definitely is the care. We as females just want to be there. We always want to feel like we're helping someone. Or even if you're just a genuine person, you want to make sure that you're there for someone when they need you the most. But exactly, you need to put yourself first. Selfishness, all of that
is okay.
Really, it is
when
okay.
it comes to spinning the block, because we take relationships too lightly. A relationship can make or break your life.
Absolutely.
A man can
very
ruin
detrimental.
your life, and it doesn't have to be financial. It could be emotionally ruin you. Literally cheat on you.
But even so, if they're emotionally taking a toll on you, that takes a toll on the rest of your life. Financially, spiritually, physically, mentally. All of it is a spiral. Literally a spiral.
And you can let him spin the block and allow him to come back, creep in, trying to be sweet, and then he goes right back to who he was, and your life is right back a mess. And now you got to clean up. You got to do this the second time around, cleaning your life up for this guy.
Hey, sometimes you got to go through it twice to learn a lesson.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. There's got to be requirements to let them spin.
Definitely.
There has to be requirements. You can, and don't say them out loud. We are so obvious as women. We tell men everything, like, I've been hurt this way. Yep. I have this trauma with my dad. Well, stop telling them all your business.
Exactly. You explain that hurt, they will hurt you back 10 times worse than that.
They'll act empathetic and then like, she has daddy issues. Come on, y'all.
Let me pick at this just a little bit.
Yeah. No. Stop telling him all your business and stop telling what you require. If he doesn't do it automatically,
that's your sign right there, sis.
Yeah. And like we said from the beginning, in the middle.
Yeah.
Please do the work on you. Because when you do the work on you, you won't even allow him to come back.
Exactly.
That's how you know if you're strong or not. You got strong.
That aura just
it don't matter how fine he is.
Recollects itself. And you realize who you are.
Yes. And you're like, you know what? You were fortunate to experience me, but you can't have me. Especially not this new me. This is the new body. This is the big body Ben.
And some of these men, I won't lie to you, they find that attractive though. That's the toxicity sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
You try and play that, oh, I'm hard to get game. They'll play with you.
It's not a game though.
It's not a game.
Yeah, but they like it. It's a challenge. Men like challenges. So, but the thing is, with time, like I said, with time, they gonna get tired of the challenge if they don't really want you. Like, you know what, forget it. I'm going back in the streets.
Absolutely.
Full throttle, because they were putting the street activity in their close friends. So you wouldn't see it. But now they are full out in the streets again. And like, but for the good guys, the small percentage that do change, if you do let somebody spin the block, don't give them a hard time. Don't remind them of who they used to be.
At all.
Because you might lose your soulmate doing that.
That's one thing too. If you do intend on spinning the block, the past shouldn't matter anymore.
No,
that's something
you have to forgive him and don't bring it up.
Absolutely. You have to let that past go in order for it to work again, because that's just sabotaging your relationship.
Yeah, and you're sabotaging yourself because now you keep thinking about what he used to be and what he used to do to you, and you keep bringing it up in your head, and now you're treating him like he's still that person subconsciously, and that's not fair. If you're going to let somebody spin the block and you see they changed, give them a clean slate, because this is a new person.
Absolutely agree.
They deserve that if you really want it to work. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You just want to torture them with who they used to be.
No, seriously. I found myself doing that a lot too. I've had to do a lot of self-awareness, self-assessment, self-reflecting, just to make sure that not only am I just okay to just speak to random people or just have a simple conversation. That is something that you really have to be aware of, to be like, yo, I was really allowing this person to do this and this to me. I shouldn't be allowing that. And that self-realization, it hurts sometimes, because you realize, like, I really allowed and I enabled this person.
You can feel like a dummy. If you can feel weak, you can feel
dumb written right across my forehead. Yeah. But it's making sure that you are self-aware. Self-awareness is the biggest thing in order for making sure that you know what you want to do for your life.
For your life. And when you're self-aware, you self-assess and you evaluate the person that's trying to spin.
Yep.
And you'll know, and you'll make the right decision. So thank you for listening to this episode. We hope we were helpful. And,
again, no offense to either females or male.
Yeah, we're not blaming men. It's just some men have the audacity, knowing they didn't change, knowing barely any time went by, and they try to spin the block because they see you're continuing to glow and get better. Don't try to come back in my life and stunt my growth.
Then you gonna call me crazy.
Yeah, after you already did whatever you did, and now you're trying to come back and do it again after I glowed up. Bye. You're not ruining my life. You're not gonna make me look crazy.
I'm good.
And then you have the bragging rights of, yeah, she be him, I don't she be blah, blah, blah. Like no. If you don't deserve to be in my life, you're not gonna be.
You will be left on red real quick.
Left on red, or if I'm polite, thank you. Bye. Double tap. I'm gonna like the message, but that shit, we ain't having a conversation.
I'm about to bring that back. I'm good, love, and joy.
I'm good, love, and joy. Like Pastor Future said.
You know?
So let's get into our last segment, which is called A Song to Expand Your Attention Span. And that song is by Ariana Grande. Thank you. Next. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and enjoy the rest of your week. That was good.
That was.